Thursday, March 19th, 2020, the Solemnity of Saint Joseph. I remember a few times in my life when I have lost something. I'm usually very good. I usually don't lose hardly anything. I might misplace it for a little bit, but I almost never lose something important. But there have been a couple times when I've lost things like my wallet, my phone, my calendar. All those were just awful things. And even briefly, when I've lost track of my car at the airport or at some big parking lot. But as I'm sure you can relate to that, it's really a pain when you lose something really important to you, something valuable to you. What a joy it is, though, when you find it, when you realize where it is and you find it and it's still there, lost and found. Well, to me, this feast of St. Joseph is about Joseph losing and finding Mary, his beloved wife, and in some ways, Jesus. It depends on which gospel was read for this feast, for this solemnity. Both of the gospels are appropriate for this message, though. In the one gospel where Joseph finds out that Mary is pregnant and decides to divorce her, and then receives the vision of the angel and decides to take her in. The other gospel is about Jesus getting lost from them in Jerusalem, and they both go searching for him for 3 days. So either way, the point is Joseph lost Mary. He lost his vision of Mary when she was already married to him, but they weren't living together yet in that first gospel. So Joseph had to let her go in his own mind to say, I'm going to divorce her. She's not the person I thought she was. This is a mistake, etc. He had to die to his own vision of who Mary was, who he was, who they were going to be, their life together, and so on. He had to die to that vision of his life that he had so carefully, I'm sure, planned and hoped for and was excited about. But he eventually found Mary in a new and different and in a deeper and fuller way. He got her back as the mother of the Messiah. And the same thing in the gospel where they lose Jesus, their son, in Jerusalem and go panicking, searching for him for 3 days. Again, losing a child must be the worst thing in the world, but then finding that child as well. But in this gospel, they also realize that Jesus is not just any child. He's the Messiah, the Son of God. And so, again, they find him in a deeper and fuller way, a deeper understanding. In some ways, this all gets back to the gospel where Jesus says, in order to find your life, you have to lose it. Every one of us has to be like Joseph. We have to be willing to let go, to die to our vision of ourselves, our loved ones, our lives, what it might mean. We have to be willing to let go and enter into that precarious, dark, uncertain place and trust that God is going to bring us through and help us to get back our life, our vision, that loved one, whatever it might be, that plan that we had in perhaps a different way, but it has the potential for being a deeper and fuller way. And again, with the coronavirus, we're all in uncharted waters. We're all in this time of uncertainty, and we have to let go of the old reality and embrace this new reality. And it's not that God willed this coronavirus to happen, but God wills us to respond with grace to this new situation. Disease and all these things, they come up just because of the imperfection of our human life. So God can bring good out of anything. So what is it that God wants to give us back? Our lives, our jobs, whatever, our health, whatever it might be. Can we embrace God's deeper and fuller vision for ourselves, our loved ones, our world? Hopefully we can, as a human community, find deeper connections with each other. Maybe some of you are finding that as you have to spend time at home with kids who are home from school or you're home from work, and hopefully you find deeper connections with each other. So often we get so caught up in the day-to-day living that we lose track of the more important things. So may God, through the intercession of St. Joseph, bring healing and relief to all of us in the midst of this crisis. But in the meantime, may we learn that deeper value, that deeper lesson, that deeper understanding, again, for ourselves, our own lives, and God's desire for us, God's will for us in our world. May we lose ourselves in order to find ourselves.